Okay, let's see. Today it's already talking to you the right of the rails tactics of the battlefield. Here is my own version of the battlefield, which I'm never afraid of the battlefields. Here, the battlefield, HE, HW, 3F, HWF, what W? It's heavy factory, and just to produce your tanks. There are light factory. Just as to make how you make a base. You're setting off to CGI. You're playing an MHCI. It doesn't matter what CGI is. If you have a basic building, that actually is the same. The question is, do you have exactly also the defenses? The defenses consist in anti-tank rounds and APs. Anti-tank rounds also. HE bombs, which is a high explosive. You need a high explosive here, and you set in some also anti-air. You need an anti-air if there is some helicopters or even worse some bomber planes and they're bombing your places. Even the fighters have some very high rounds of the machine guns or some even higher rockets. They can even to push it your to places. So you have to be very careful of them. The boats. No, there is no marines. There to some maritime to some navy forces, so you're not afraid to be against something anti to some barracks or cannons there. But this is coming up to there. So if you have some mortars, 188mm, 90mm mortar, you set it with the center of the battle and put it because they are the shooting and the far away. You need the basic, and you have a massive cannons there. Therefore, infantry. Then you have of course a tank and trunks. To support, if you're Russian, you usually have against seeing American forces. So this is a basic American against the Russia Federation or the Soviet Union, USSR. And that's probably meaning that there will be a very heavy guns here of the American tanks, which are of course Abrams, the main tactic plan. It can get a lot of shots of itself, and so you will very need it carefully against the best possible way to just yourself. And that will mean the best possible way is having yourself couple of the tanks there. Perhaps some T-80s, T-90s, T-85, T-72. It's depending on a lot what tanks you have yourself. You put it in some tank throws and take yourself and keeping your base is a good for. And that's what you gotta do. And that is coming, of course. How you just set up your buildings? Okay, let's see. So you have some air force. And you have some air factory, or you have first two factories. You have some heavy bomber factory, and you have this basic for air factory. And of course you have also repair factory. This is an MFCGI. It's not all version like a CRCGI or other things. And there are of course an attitude front. So what is it? We have a different to their trades and enemies. This place is very much associated on the very invisible as well as a flatland. It has been mountain area, a little clean, but in the hill it's under and the some of the cave, and this means that it's very much not visible onto any other places of the map. So you have to be at last very good of the same security. You cannot very much artillery is the biggest threat usually in this form. So you cannot use it just a normal tanks rounds because those buildings are under of the very shells and some covered by these land masses around here. But there is a forest here in these settings. That means that here is open air, a space in to play. So there your tanks or your crews and other things, like infantry when you're building in the barracks, are just coming away. And that means here in the forest we have different trees. We have of course tanks. Tanks always cannot ever use in this forest setting, so they have to come to the front line here. This front line is usually set with a lot of the anti-tanks and your own tanks, just a little bit a quart here. And then it's a forest. You need a lot of machine guns, of course, because it's pretty easy actually send some infantry, some saboteur there to just making your buildings. That they have some bombs, time bombs and satchels. What you know? They're always air threat, and you need a just break a properization. And that means that, and there is a paratrooper. That means that machine guns also need to be shot to the air, but also anti-air we don't need it. You know that when this kind of base, choppers are very much, but also the bombers. So you need some anti-air. Is it the anti-air machine guns like Vulcan, or there is some American counterpart with his Vulcan, but it's a shield card Russian, and that means that this kind of the but also needed perhaps some rocket missiles, anti-air missiles, and some man-pads. You need some air anti-air like the Stingers, or perhaps the Russian counterpart of this is I already worried what there are. But anyway, that would be. Of course, there is also treats to the other things like tanks and so, but it's very much keeping off the direct strike away from that. And the saboteurs, they're always a treating of. So, where you set your MH key, actually never use an MH key in the main base, because MH key you always hiding, it's always in its own places. If your main base, this even all the structure or your effort has been confirmed, you needed something to the second plan. You want to keep it holding the game still, you don't want to keep it up, you just have to be over keep it up to this. You try to of course repair if some building is down. If all workers have been killed, you just again go far past it. MH key. Usually MH key is just the best correct place there. Perhaps some heavy walls around if it's just you let it at the base. If you wanna just really keep it in a single base here, or you would just wanna keep it MH key in one base, and then it's just meaning also that you have some open space here, that it doesn't get clipped or stuck here. So heavy factory, air factory needed a lot of space in front of them that they can spap to choppers. And if you want to just spap on some airplane, it's of course need some runaway. Of course it needs a runaway, because unless it is using some technology like something those which doesn't need a lot of the runway to just getting accelerated and getting taking off to some airplanes, which are example to the Americans and the English, British, Australian, you know the what. Okay, that will be good in around this time on my tactical point.